I'm Caitlin E, and welcome to the Lit Review. Today we're filming my favorite thing to film, which is LitLand. So, if you are new to this channel, this is my TBR game that I originally loosely based on Candyland, but it's grown so much from there. I pick roughly 5 color-coded cards that relate to a genre and move across the board trying to get a book haul. So actually I want to talk to you about that book haul real quick. Let me put this down. I'm not making a ton of changes to LitLand, but I am making one really important one. Over the last couple of months, I have been buying books, and it's made me really happy. So I will no longer be treating each month like a book buying ban. However, I will still do a book haul and a giveaway when I beat LitLand, when I win. But what I'll be doing instead is for every 100 pages of the books that I did finish in the month, I will bank $5 towards that book haul, and we'll do a book haul on a budget based on how much I read in between start and finish. And then for every book that is not from a book box that I bring into my home, I will be taking away $5. So it's still incentivizing me to read what I've got instead of overbuying, because then I'll be taking fun times away from myself in the future. But if there's a book that I just see out and about that I want to grab, I'm not going to punish myself for doing that anymore. I feel like that was a really restrictive way that I was playing this game that was actually taking away of my enjoyment of being a reader and being a book buyer, the two very separate hobbies that go hand in hand in my humble opinion. So that's just a small change going forward, and you'll see that way more in my wrap-ups, because that's where I'll do all my mini book hauls and stats accounting for how much I'm actually banking in a month. So those two videos will now tie in together just a little bit better. But enough gab, let's get into all the stuff you need to know before we can get into the board, because we are actually going to be doing the board this month. It's not all punishments, so huzzah. I just want to say thank you real quick to the 2 people that I think started the whole game board trend, or TBR game trend, that I got really inspired by, and that is Becca and the Books and Cody from Cody's Book Corner. They are just 2 people whose content I really respect too, so I take a lot of inspiration from the both of them, and so I always feel like it's appropriate to give a shout out to them when making this video. In general, I have a lot going on in September for somebody who last month told you that she didn't want to have a lot going on. Yeah, we backtracked on that real quick. Of course, Buzzwordathon, the buzzword for September is dark, which I think I can make work, possibly. There's a lot of books that have dark in the title. My book club, the Book Covered Book Club, also has a theme for September. I will have a video coming out on that, I believe, this Sunday, and I will tell you now so you can start prepping. The theme for that is books with books on the cover. So any type of book with a book, that's your theme for September. Go wild. I made a big fuss about not wanting to participate in too many readathons, but then September happened and everybody had really good ideas for readathons in September. So there are so many that I have bad FOMO and want to participate in them all, but I know that's not realistic. So I'm not sure yet what I'll actually be participating in, but the things I'm interested in sampling or trying are the Magical Readathon, hosted by G from Book Roast, Becca's Bookoplathon, hosted of course by Becca and the Books, NSFW-athon, hosted by a lot of different folks, but the one who I think came up with the original concept is Paige from Pages with Paige, and then we also have Seasonathon, the Fall into Reading, and that is hosted by Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me, Mel from Completely Melanie, and Clint from Reads Readers. Or no, Reads Reader, no S. So there's a lot going on in September, and y'all came up with some really good readathons. So I'm gonna have to square up with myself and figure out what the heck I'm actually trying to participate in. But that's for a different video, that's another time. So I had 5 books to read from August. They were all originally punishment picks for not completing books and or buying books, but we're not doing the buying book punishment anymore. I already covered that. So let's see how I did. I have a couple of days left before the end of August, so there are some in progresses, but I'm gonna go ahead and check them off. And the 2 that are in progress are Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdez. I'm like maybe a third of the way through this, and I feel like I can get that done in the next couple of days. And then the book that I decided to annotate, because that was my troll card from August, is that I had to annotate at least one of my 5 books. It's been a doozy, is Crimson Night by Trisha Baker. You can see I have like one lonely tab here. I haven't been tabbing a lot, but I have been annotating. I will insert a couple of pictures or maybe a quick video of some of my annotations. They've mostly been WTF and oof, toxic masculinity, things like that. But I have been annotating and tabbing where necessary. This little purple tab that you can see here, for example, is an important plot point. And then I kind of stopped tabbing for like another several hundred pages. But I am going to finish this and finish tabbing it. These are both books that are going to be finished by the end of the month, but I've made enough progress that I feel confident in my ability to do so. The other 3 books that I had outstanding have all been finished. And those 3 books were 2 Dark Reigns by Kendare Blake, and then the other 2 were ebooks. So I had The Devil Finds Work by James Baldwin and The Girl of Hawthorne and Glass by Adnan Jariat-Pool. Okay, I'm not entirely sure I'm pronouncing their name correctly. To hear more of my thoughts on all of these books, I will be doing a wrap-up next week, so stay tuned for that. But more importantly, let's actually get to the book picking of this TBR. All right, poll number 1. Last month, we didn't really see this board. We just saw these 5 stuck squares or challenges. So these are going to go into my pile of all the challenges we've accomplished together. So this is where Wilbur was at the end of July. These are our LitLand cards. These are the ones we've already used through. We have our challenge squares here, and the pink, the green are our stuck squares or punishments, which we're not taking any today. Haha. And then the troll bridge cards, just in case we land on any of the rainbows. We're kind of past the bridges, but the rainbows are also troll squares. 1 yellow. Boop. Okay, off to a good start. Not an overwhelming start. I like a non-overwhelming start. 1 yellow, and yellow is my color for young adults. I definitely have a lot of that. Okay, so I am going to choose I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. This is one of my library book checkouts. This just looks like a super cute contemporary YA with, of course, a love story. Our heroine, Desi Lee, is obsessed with K-dramas, and she likes to have a plan for everything. And so when she's wanting to land her crush, she looks to K-dramas for how to get it done, essentially. And her potential love story unfolds from there. I'm sure it's much more complicated than that. But this, forgive me, I can't remember who recommended this to me, but this came as a recommendation from one of my subscribers when I was working on my challenge check-in video, because this book will fit a prompt for one of my year-long challenges that is read a book with the same title as a song. So this is also gonna work for me for that. So thank you again to the wonderful subscriber who gave me that heads up. I apologize that I cannot remember in the moment who that is. Poll number 2. Oh, 2 red. 1, 2. Hello. Look, if I have to get a color times 2 square, I'm happy when it's romance. So red is my romance color, so I have to pick 2 different romances. The real challenge is which 2 am I trying to read right now? I think the first one for a choice is actually super easy for me because I talked about it in a video recently when I unboxed my August Read Romance Repeat box. So it came in that one, and that is Real by Kennedy Ryan. I am so looking forward to this book. It is a industry romance between a up-and-coming starlet who is discovered on stage by this hotshot director in his new epic film about the Harlem Renaissance. So it's going to be like a period piece. So it's not a historical, but it's going to have period piece moments because of the film they're making. And yeah, it just sounds really good. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it on like Book Talk and BookTube. So I'm so ready to dig into this. I don't think I've ever read any Kennedy Ryan's before, so I'm glad to check her off my author to-do list as well. All right, let me see what else I can find in the romance category. Ooh, you know what I haven't done? I have These Books Will Self-Destruct that's all romance books, and I don't think I've picked a single one of those yet. Oh, shit. All right, so we're gonna go with one of those. So I'm gonna go with A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. This one just seemed the most interesting. What I know about this is that it is a very unique romance and that it's kind of more in the category of an erotic romance, and it involves, I believe, like polyamory. There's like 6 main characters that grew up together, and they were all really centered around this like place hidden among the moors, and it's been years since they've seen each other, but they're coming back together and back to this place. When I bought this several years ago, I was at the Rip Bodice and I was asking for recommendations for them in stores, and one of the owners was like, this is one of the most unique books in the genre that I've ever read. So that's what got me to pick it up. And then I just let it sit on my bookshelves for a really long time. So there also seems to be, based on the back cover, like some really mysterious elements of secrets that are supposed to be, you know, coming to the light, and a little bit of dark mystery. And I know that one of the characters in this polyamorous group is a priest. So I'm intrigued and maybe a little intimidated. But I hear good things from people who really are invested in the romance and erotic romance community. So I'm going to try it. I believe this is even the first in a series, so if I like it, there's more where that came from. But at least I'm taking a book off of that self-destruct list that I completely spaced on. Yeah. Whoops. Pull number 3. Uh-oh. No. 2 purple. 1, 2. So I did get another ×2 square, and this is a purple ×2. And purple is my category for miscellaneous, which is actually not that bad. So miscellaneous is just kind of my catch-all for any of the genres or things that aren't mentioned in my other colors. And so that kind of includes like mysteries, classics, literary fiction, poetry, graphic novels. And I think I already know what I want for this, especially if more of these ×2 things come up. I want something a little short, I think, and I have the perfect pick-me-up. So I mentioned this book in a video that I made at the end of 2020 that was like books I totally thought I was gonna read this year and didn't, or something to that effect. And I remember saying in that video that I was saving this for a rainy day. And I just feel like it's a pickup that I might need in September. Like I might want this, so I'm finally gonna do it. Gonna cross that one off. And it's The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. It's a very slim little graphic novel. My friend Clara from Clara Books It on Instagram is telling me all the time that I need to read this, and that there's others of these in a series, but that it's just like the most wholesome, happy thing, and it really helps her like feel at peace. And I just like, even though I'm not feeling super chaotic yet in September, it just seems like a really nice time to pick this up. So I'm gonna go with that instinct and do The Tea Dragon Society. It is exactly what it says it is, by the way. It's a fairy tale about the Tea Dragon Society and the adventures of Greta and a blacksmith apprentice, and the people she meets as she becomes entwined in the enchanting world of tea dragons. You know what? I'm just gonna browse my priority shelf back here that I try to take at least one book from. I will also browse this like stack back here and see what else would fit into the miscellaneous, because I have a lot of options. So this one is also a little on the short side, which I think I might just want this month, but still, you know, a little bit of heft at the same time. I've heard really good things about this book, and that's The Subtweet by Vivek Shraya. What I do know about this book is that it's about the music industry, and specifically we're following indie artist Neela, who is just like putting a lot of her content out there, but she feels like it's just not landing. She has one of her songs covered by this internet famous like Rukmini, and it's all caps, like very like tongue-in-cheek, and that internet cover of her song becomes like this huge sensation, and they begin kind of a friendship that it exists largely online, and before long the systemic pressures that pit women against one another begin to bear down on Neela and Rukmini, stirring up self-doubt and jealousy. And so then there's a subtweet, like, so with a single tweet, their friendship implodes, a career is destroyed, and the two women find themselves at the center of an internet firestorm, is what the back of the book says. So it's like, it seems like a really good book for character, as well as like cultural criticism about like women versus women, and the way that sometimes like social media can feel really real, but often isn't 100% there. At least that's my take on what I'm getting from the back cover. I'm really looking forward to finding out what the content of the book divulges, though, if my read is accurate or not. The cover's really stunning and really striking, which is initially what drew me into the book, but the premise itself is really good. I've been reading a lot of like music industry related books in the last year, and I'm really enjoying them. Pull number 4. 1 green. Okay, 1 green, and this is my historical color. So, yikes, I have so many options for historical, it's kind of embarrassing. Oh, I have another library book for this. This is A Gentleman's Murder by Christopher Huang. So this is a historical mystery set in the wake of World War I, where our protagonist finally gets into this like elusive gentleman's club, but shortly thereafter there's a murder, and he is trying to figure out who done it. I'm really intrigued to read this. This has been on my radar for a while. Maybe I will actually finish this from the library and prioritize it properly now that it's on a TBR. But it also, I love it, it has deckled edges. I know some people really hate deckled edges. I think they're delightful. All right, no crisis so far, no big pullbacks to any. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I say that? Because now I'm gonna get one. Pull number 5. And 1 orange. Okay, so I didn't totally jinx myself. This is 1 orange or 1 sci-fi or fantasy read. And you know what? I don't have to think about this for too much longer either, because I read 2 Dark Reigns in August. I want to finish the series. I got caught back up in it, and I want to read 5 Dark Fates by Kendari Blake. This is the final book in the 3 Dark Crowns series. There is also a different book, I think, that is like short stories, but I'm probably not gonna go that far. Without spoiling what I just read in August, here's my rough synopsis for the whole series. In book 1, we meet 3 queens on this mysterious island of Finneburn. I never know if I'm actually saying that correctly, but I say Finneburn. And it's an island shrouded in mist, and everybody has some form of innate magical ability, and there are always, into each generation, there are always 3 queens born, and when those queens come of age, they have to fight, and 2 queens must die for the island to live and flourish, and it's a total matriarchy. This is how their magic system flourishes. It's the way it's been for centuries, and nobody really questions it. And so our 3 main characters who we get perspectives on are the 3 queens who are battling it out, and each of them has a different innate type of magic. There's Mirabella, who is an elementalist who can control fire and winds and water. There's Arsinoe, who is raised among the naturalists, and Catherine, who is raised among the poisoners. So by the time we get to this book, a lot has happened, but we're still dealing with the political drama. I think this is a great YA series for people who do like political dramas, but also like a hefty dose of action, because even though politics are at the core of this series, Kendari Blake does not write like bland books. She's always got a little bit of action and adventure to her plots. I'm excited to finally finish a series. As you all know, I am terrible at finishing series, but this was really inspiring. It like jogged my memory of the series last month and got me wanting to finish it. So this is going to be my final pick for the month. Okay, so I don't have any rollover books, thank goodness, but I do have 7 books to read this month. Some of them are quite short, and that's gonna be nice. None of them are so huge that I think it's gonna cause like a 7-book pile up on my TBR, but we'll see how many of these I actually bank and finish towards my future book hauls. And yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this little stack of books. I think it's a good heft. 5 Dark Fates will fit for Buzz Wordathon. I did not get one that will fit for my book club, the Book Covered Book Club, but that's okay. I will sneak something in here. I'm very excited to read this stack of books though. This is gonna be so much fun. All right, well that's where I'm gonna leave us today. So thank you for spending time with me. I hope you are having a fantastic reading day. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me or this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.